Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Celebrate TV Live. I'm your host, Peter Lee. With me today, as always, is my director, producer, cameraman. I think he's one of Santa's elves too. It's my husband, Phil Gordimer.
And good afternoon, good morning, good evening if you're watching us on YouTube and Facebook, and whether it's live or on replay. It's cocktail time.
Yes, it is. I've got a lot of stuff behind me. All right. We're having today, most people have coffee with cookies. It's all about cookies, but we're having a little different coffee. We're having espresso martinis. Now, keyboard warriors, I know you're out there, bri, if you're watching, I know. Yes, there was a typo. Someone typed espresso martini instead of espresso martini. We've already been read the riot act, and that person was hung out to dry by his toenails in Wadding Square in Wilmington, Delaware. So he's been punished, but unfortunately...
The X and the S key are right next to each other.
And that's what happens when people stay up editing until 4 in the morning. Unfortunately, we can't change it. But we know it's espresso, so no need to yell at us.
And for those who want to try the recipe, the link is in the show notes and in chat.
As someone mansplained it to us, the difference, what it really is. But Merry Christmas, everyone. All right. Cheers.
The second best way to drink coffee.
Yep. Hey.
Sorry. Well, that's good with the vanilla in it.
Yeah, that is good. Very, very good. All right, I have cookies to put in the oven because it's all about cookies today. This is a batch of oatmeal raisin cookies, actually oatmeal cranberry cookies. So I'm really baking for you today. Alexa, set a timer for 8 minutes.
8 minutes, starting now.
Very good. Now, before we get started here, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't, but I have to fix something, so make everybody happy for 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh, I can start talking. Yay! Okay. Let's see how long this really lasts. Excuse me. All right, so it's all about Christmas cookies today. Now, all the holidays, there's so many holidays around this time of year, and we try and be respectful to all of them. And what is fascinating is just about all of them. Where did I go, dear?
Hold on.
Okay.
You're there.
All right. Well, I couldn't see me, but anyway, so many of the holidays have a form of cookie that go along with the celebrations. So it was fascinating looking around at some of these things. But I'm kind of focused on Christmas today because we celebrate Christmas here. But I would love to hear if you celebrate something other than Christmas, Diwali, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or anything else. What type of desserts or treats or cookies do you celebrate with? Are there special ones that would be unique to that? But let's talk about Christmas cookies.
Oh, this is good.
What? It didn't last long, did it?
Hold on.
You talk, dear. Go ahead. Oh, Robin, my Alexa just said time. Good, that's funny. That's funny. So, yeah, Christmas cookies. So you have to wonder, I've always wondered, how did the tradition start? Like, where did they come from? Where did someone decide, oh, let's make cookies? So apparently, at least according to Wikipedia, traditionally a Christmas cookie, and traditionally meaning as modern times tradition, it's usually a sugar cookie or a butter cookie or a biscuit, depending on where you're from. And based on family traditions, flavors may change, but they're usually rolled out and cut into various shapes that remind you of Christmas, like ornaments and candy canes and reindeers and things, and they're decorated. That's the first image, the traditional Christmas cookie, but I don't like using that, this is the only Christmas cookie. Modern Christmas cookies, there's good trivia here for you, dear. Like we should do some Trivial Pursuit or something. Modern Christmas cookies can trace their history back from medieval European biscuits. And when many modern ingredients such as cinnamon, ginger, black pepper, and almonds and things were introduced to the West. And by the 16th century, Christmas biscuits had become popular all over Europe. That's pretty early. And I think that they had like black pepper biscuits, not so much. But if it was something new and exciting, I guess they had foodies even then. The earliest examples, more trivia, dear, of Christmas cookies in the U.S., they were brought in by the Dutch in the early 17th century. And between the late 1800s and early 1900s was when cookie cutters became available because they brought them over. They invented them and brought them over. Oh, yes, thank you for getting that stuff for me. See, we always get, we're like, we're so prepared. Okay. We could have done without it, but that's okay.
No. I think I want some.
Ugh. Anyway, more about Christmas cookies. We all leave cookies for Santa. That didn't start in Canada and the United States until the 30s, 1930s. So, like, that started after my dad was born, since he was born in the 20s. That's funny. Since then, Christmas in the 30s, children have left cookies and milk for Santa on Christmas Eve. So that's a little fun thing. And I'd like to hear, what kind of cookies people leave. So yeah, Phil just brought some more props out because we're going to talk about different types of cookies, etc. And I'm going to make a point with those things. I love sugar cookies. I used to make the dough myself, but the sugar cookie rolls that you slice yourself are real good. And yeah, and I have one here. I think these were new when I was a kid, but they're old now, and they're wonderful, and they're perfectly fine. And what I like now is, look, safe to eat raw. Excuse me. I need another sip of cocktail.
Oh, wait, you can't do that alone.
Well, you're not on camera, are you?
I am now.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like the vanilla vodka in it instead of the regular. Yeah. So, yeah, I picked these up, some sugar dough and these in a tube because, if you don't bake but you want cookies, these are perfectly acceptable. Nothing wrong with using them. But even the sugar cookies from the tube, you can roll them out and cut them out and bake them off and decorate them, whatever you want to do. But today I am making oatmeal cranberry, or craisins as they're called. So oatmeal raisins are my favorite. And when the dry cranberries first came out, and my mother made a batch and put them in at Christmas time, because she only made oatmeal raisins at Christmas, it was like mind-blowing. Wow. So they're in my little oven.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh.
Let's give people a job.
Okay. I like jobs. Tell us in chat what your favorite cookie. Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to hear your favorite cookies or what your traditions are.
Now we have a bunch of them that I have ready to go.
People send in through
Yep,
Facebook.
that's sent in through Facebook and the little poll that we did. But let's see from the 10 people that are in chat right now, what are their favorite cookies?
You need to get better at putting yourself on camera when you talk like that, because you're just a disembodied voice for these poor people. Poor bear.
Okay, well now I'm back.
There you are. Anyway, there's lots of, we got a whole nice long list.
Wait, this is kind of strange.
What? Kyle, my mother would make frying pan cookies every Christmas season, always in her large cast iron frying pan. I don't know what that is, but okay, that's awesome. I wonder if it's like a big cookie in the bottom of the frying pan. I think I'll be Googling a little later. And I've never heard of frying pan cookies. What type of cookies do we make here at LG Manor? We don't make a lot of cookies. I don't, because first of all, we don't need to be eating them. And it's just the two of us most of the time. Today I have done some baking for you. Some of it is store-bought, I'll admit. But I did make my chocolate chip pudding cookies. And then we have some others around. I'm making the oatmeal raisin for you. I was going to do some others, and we just ran out of time.
Well, we might have been a little wine challenged.
No, not wine challenged, but there's a practical limit.
All right, we were morning foggy.
I wasn't, but You weren't supposed
Yes,
to.
you were morning foggy.
No, I was annoyed that you got up with me. I was hoping to get up earlier than you and have that time to knock out all the cookies uninterrupted. You see? Oops, that's my timer. Alexa, cancel. Let's see, let's see. Oops. You'd think I know where my mitts are by now. All right. I love these stackable cooling trays. Look at that. These have to cool for a few minutes on here and then cool on the rack further. And I'll just leave them there and I can... Then maybe I should move them a bit so I don't end up burning myself because that would be kind of funny. I'm gonna just put them... Can I put them here so I can be distracting?
It's a little distracting.
All
yes.
right, I'll
put them
put 'em-
behind you.
All right.
Put them on top of the third one.
Well, yes, dear, that's how it works.
Well, show them what you got back there.
What? I have
Multiple rows of
stackable
cookies.
racks and some cookies on top. Pampered Chef. Love them. Anyway, back to my notes. Let's talk more about cookies.
Wait, someone else has a better question about cookies.
Okay. Wait,
Okay, where am I
Lost it.
here? There we go.
too many buttons.
Too many buttons.
All right, so Valerie wants to know what kind of cookies do you leave for Santa? Okay, I have to confess, I don't leave cookies for Santa. I never did. Instead, I leave a hot pastrami sandwich with spicy brown mustard and an ice cold beer because that's what my dad always told me. That's what Santa wanted. He needed a break from cookies. So I always left that on some nice rye bread and it was always gone the next morning and I always got more than I wanted or needed. So, yeah. No, good. Yeah, so I will be leaving a hot pastrami sandwich this Christmas Eve too. I don't know who's gonna eat it, except it'll be Santa. I may leave him a martini though, or a Manhattan instead of a beer. We'll see. Are you reminding them of that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. But what type of cookies do we make here? Well, as I said today, I made my oatmeal craisins and my double chocolate chip pudding cookies. Yeah, we'll do shortbreads. I'm not sure if that counts as a cookie. I
Well,
wouldn't call it a
since we're
cookie.
talking about shortbread, let's take a commercial break here.
Oh, Lozzie. Okay.
No, it's important.
I know, dear. I know.
It's important.
I know.
For those of you who have been with us for a little while, one of our most popular episodes has been traditional Scottish shortbread. Now, it's in our older format because we did it in 2019, where we still were doing it upstairs in the kitchen and didn't know a whole lot about camera and lighting. But it's really popular. The interesting thing is, as of right now, it's 99,894. So we're only 100 and loose change away from our first 100,000 video.
Yeah.
So
Tell your friends to watch
tell
it.
your friends, tell your enemies, everything you want to do.
Tell them Santa said so.
And the link for it is also down in the show notes. Or you can jump on our YouTube page or on Facebook and just search for Scottish shortbread.
Traditional Scottish shortbread.
Traditional Scottish shortbread. It would be wonderful if in the next few days we get 100,000 because we have a bottle of Moet and Chandon champagne that needs to be cracked.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so I was talking about these two before I got derailed, and I mentioned shortbread. I'm not sure if shortbread counts as a cookie. I wouldn't call it a cookie. I've had my little feathers ruffled when people have asked me, could you make your shortbread cookie? But there are other treats you make at Christmas. We discovered last year or the year before, these no-bake rum balls that are really, really good. So I'll probably make them. We'll have
And
a shortbread or two
speaking of
kicking
that-
around. Yes, Dawn Ross, rum
Oh, I
balls.
see Dawn switched sides. She was Facebook last week.
Okay, well,
Now she's over on YouTube. Yay!
I'll take it wherever.
Yeah, no, we like it better on YouTube.
Okay. All right, if you say so, dear. I don't know the difference, but okay.
YouTube
Yeah.
pays us money. Facebook
Yes,
does
dear.
not.
Yes, dear. So yeah, I'll do some rum balls, and it's going to depend largely too for me what entertaining that we do, because it's only December 3rd, and I was promised I was allowed to have a Christmas dinner party, or something. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Dawn is switch hitting here.
Now I'm back. It's fine, Dawn, wherever you want to come in from. Yeah. But anyway, in my research, I looked up at a lot of what other people consider traditional Christmas cookies, or what most people will have as traditional Christmas cookies. So things like snickerdoodles, which I love and I've never made, and I don't know why, because I think Phil, you would like them. They're kind of cinnamony. They're not that
Because
sweet.
you always say you're not a baker, so you don't go out of your way to bake anything.
Yeah, I know. And we're usually on the go, so we don't have time. Except,
So Robin is a baker, so maybe we can get some snickerdoodles from her.
right?
They go really good with wine, I get.
Yes, they do. Yes, yes, they do go well with wine. Snickerdoodles, jam thumbprints. Of course, there's gingerbread men and gingerbread houses. But, you know, people do love those cutout gingerbread men. Then there's our lovely pizzelles like these. Love them.
Show them off, put them in the board so people can see what they are. I'm not sure everyone knows what a pizzelle is.
Really? Okay. A pizzelle is, hold on, dear. Yeah, see, you went off board, off script. So these are pizzelles. They're a little waffle-like cookie. Sometimes they have nicer designs than this, the pizzelle irons, but they're very thin and crisp, and they have a very light anise flavor to them. Sometimes you'll see the anise seeds or the fennel seeds in it. They're wonderful and light and crispy. My mother got a pizzelle iron. These are considered an Italian cookie, but my mother one year decided to get a pizzelle iron, and then that became part of her repertoire. But that was really late, like in the 90s. But she would spend hours with that
Okay,
pizzelle iron.
I have a question coming up for you because I don't know what this is either.
Okay. I make madeleines with my kids. They get to dip them into different types of chocolates and toppings. Sure. So madeleines are a soft cookie. They're shaped like a shell, and there's a very specific pan that you use to be able to call them madeleines or madeleines, but I think it's madeleines. And traditionally you make them and they are dipped in chocolate, but you can dip them into anything. They're kind of a soft cakey cookie, at least all the ones I've had. But they're delicious, and sure, they could be a Christmas cookie because they're kind of a little fancier. Considering you have to pour the batter into each little mold, it takes a little more effort than some other cookies would. So yeah, pizzelles, and then of course, there's one of my favorites that I have not made yet this year. I haven't made in a couple years, which is biscotti. I have a wonderful recipe for cranberry and orange biscotti. And the first time I made them, biscottis need to be baked twice. And I did the first bake, they were beautiful. I took them out of the oven, and before I could slice them, Phil had a work emergency. So we had to go to his office, and it was like, 11 o'clock at night, so I didn't want to go alone. And so we discovered, because I never did the second bake, we really like the soft biscotti. But I've made them when I've done them properly with the 2 bakes, and they're just wonderful.
Dawn's got the right idea. Maybe she can dip it in our espresso martini.
Oh, there you go. But when you dip these, don't they, at least the ones I've had, don't they disintegrate really quickly? Let's find out. Oh, no, okay. Well, these are store-bought. Oh. That's good. Maybe my
What
mother's...
was the O? Right. What was the O for?
What do you mean, oh?
You bit it and went O, like, ooh, this is...
Like, oh, that's kind of nice.
Oh, okay.
It's licorice, which you don't like,
I do not.
with the coffee. That's all. Yours don't. Well, good. Maybe my mother's was just a different recipe that they would disintegrate, but they were delicious. Of course, she's probably haunting me right now. She's probably standing beside me going, no, they didn't. My dad and I used to make sugar cookie trees, just glue a stack of cookies with royal icing and top with a mini star. Oh, that's a fun idea. That'd be a nice thing to do for like a dessert board or dessert table.
Oh, I think there's an idea for Kenzie.
Oh, yeah.
and they're on.
I mean,
So-
yeah, if you stack them in a circle and did them up as a cone, sure.
I don't think you even need to do that if you just made a couple of cookies and made each one smaller and stacked them straight up.
You could, or if you just had all the same size cookies, you could do them that way. Well, Emily and Kevin and Mackenzie, it sounds like we need to have a crafternoon.
Yes, but Mackenzie lost her first tooth yesterday.
I know. Isn't that wonderful? So what are some of your other favorite types of cookies? My mother also always made peanut butter cookies at Christmas, which are not my favorite. When I was a kid, if there was nothing else, I would eat them. And she used to go off-brand of cookies too, and like she would only ever make her brownie recipe at Christmas. Things like that. She didn't bake the rest of the year really. You know, she'd say, "Mom, I want cookies. Here's some Oreos." Get out of my face.
That's assuming Oreos have a problem.
Yeah. Another thing that she did make, and then I took over making them, is they're called different things. Sometimes they're called spritz cookies, sometimes they're called tea dainties, but you make them, where is it? With a cookie press, kind of like this one from Pampered Chef, and I haven't used this in a while.
Is this a commercial for Pampered Chef?
I know, right? But, you know, it's this type of thing. You load the dough in and just like shoot them out. And you have all kinds of fun for all the holidays. And we used to love them because she would make them with an almond flavor instead of vanilla, which was kind of nice. Maybe I'll make some of those. So one thing I'm curious about, with all these cookies, what do you do with them? Do you eat them all yourselves? How many of you out there, sorry, I'm blocking my mic as I scratch my arm. How many of you out there do the cookie swaps or the cookie exchanges, things like that? I'm kind of thinking, and it's a little late to do it this year, but maybe we can do for next year is organize one in our little neighborhood here, dear. Since I have to make shortbreads for several of our neighbors anyway, because, oh, Joanne, my cookie group in my church does something completely different. We have bowls of icings and creams and use them to make sandwich cookies. Oh, that'd be fun. Sure. And then you can make them different colors and flavors. Sure, that'd be fun. I made the mistake when we first moved here our first Christmas, because I was silly and foolish, and the first few neighbors that we met, I made them Scottish shortbreads. And on Christmas Eve, we went to all their houses and gave them Scottish shortbreads. And now this is what, year 7, dear? And it went from like 4 neighbors to 8 neighbors to 12 neighbors to people coming by, you know, can't wait for shortbread. I don't bake much anymore, but for the grandkids, we love assembling a gingerbread house kit. That's nice. We talked about getting a gingerbread house kit, but I didn't really think that was a cookie. It's a great Christmas tradition. Plus, neither one of us have ever done one. At least I've never done one. And I said, you know, I don't think I want to mess with that live on camera, because Phil's like, no, we'll just glue it together on camera. No, not so much.
Maybe we should get Dawn to help this next person.
I got a pizzelle maker last year for Christmas. I am trying to master them and have different flavors. Okay, sure, that's great. So, you know, practice makes perfect. And kind of like my shortbread mold and with pizzelle molds, my experience has been of every season, the first couple don't come out well, but once it gets heated up and greased properly, then they come out really well. But like when you're making crepes, the first one is always a bust, and you just discard it. So yeah, keep practicing. That's great. I've thought about getting a pizzelle maker, but again, we don't need to be eating all the sweet stuff. Now I know our kids, Kevin, are probably sitting around going, yes, yes, and then send them to us. But
You mean the teenagers too?
well, the teenagers too, especially. Who I wish they were supposed to be here today, and then they had another commitment they couldn't get out of. So maybe next time you'll get to meet our oldest 2 grandkids, because we had Thanksgiving with them and it was wonderful. But they both really want to be on the live show. I have a recipe that makes a dough, then press and cook the better chip. Yeah, I mean, I have several recipes for them too. And I have seen them, you know, traditionally they're an anise flavor, but I have seen ones for chocolate, for lemon. So people do other flavors out there, which may not be traditional. Maybe some of our Italian-American neighbors may get mad about that, but why not? Ha, Joe. Peggy's at Christmas cooking camp, right? Yeah, that's great. That's awesome, Joe. You know, that's something I have never, ever done. We never made the roll out and press and decorate cookies. We just never did. My mom never liked rolling cookie dough out. I mean, if I did do it as a kid, I don't remember. Maybe I did it at someone else's house, but...
Let's run through the list from...
Oh, yeah. Talk about what are your favorite, what do you consider Christmas cookies?
So
do you have a list now of people sending stuff in?
We put out a thing in our Facebook group asking people to tell us what their favorite cookie was. And normally when we do things like that, we get maybe 3 or 4 responses. We got 17.
Okay.
So I'm going to run through these pretty quick so you can see what our Facebook people who may or may not be here, run down to 9 people in chat,
oh no,
to see what they got. All right, here we go. So we're starting out with, oh, you reading them or am I reading them?
Okay, I'll read them. Clinton says chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, that's a standard. And I don't, that's one of those ones that I don't know why, because you can make chocolate chip anytime. Tim, white chocolate chip, macadamia, and cranberry. That sounds delicious. Peanut butter cookies. Maddie Bear cookies from Eileen. Peanut butter cookies with dark chocolate chips. Now that I might like, Eileen, if you're watching. Oh, Lisa, Russian tea cakes. Yeah. If you don't know what Russian tea cakes are, those little round cookies that have powdered sugar on them. Sometimes people call them snowballs, but they're bite-sized and they're almond flavored and they're perfectly delicious when you get good ones. Sometimes, oh, Steven says black and whites. Okay. Oatmeal raisin. Yay. Would you like a couple?
This is oatmeal cranberry, but yes, I'll be there in a second.
All right.
Hold on, it takes 2 hands to do these and we're only halfway through.
Oh, all right. What else we got then?
I'm working on it.
Snickerdoodles. There we go. So I guess I'm making snickerdoodles. Snowball cookies, which would be probably the Russian tea cakes. Simple classic sugar cookie. Okay. Gingerbread. I like a nice gingerbread. Not the cookies, but real spicy gingerbread.
Okay, here's an answer with an attitude.
What would an Italian household be without pizzelles? Yes, I always hear that.
This one's self-serving, but okay.
Oh, thank you, Kyle. Yeah. Your Scottish shortbread recipe. Thumbprints. Yeah, they're fun. We have some here that have chocolate on them.
And I tasted one. It's sort of like a chocolate cookie. It's not melted chocolate.
But I prefer them with jam. Rum balls. There we go. But again, our rum balls cookies. That's one of those, candy cane cookies. Okay.
And
I wonder, does that mean cookies with candy cane ground up in them, or like dough that you've shaped into? This is shaping. Chocolate chip, gingerbread, and orange balls. The only 3 I need. Okay. I've been trying for 24 years to learn how to make orange balls, but no one will give me the recipe, so we haven't.
Ooh, that was bitter.
Not at all. Just honest. Just saying. That's all. That's all. I don't really care for them, but I think I can improve upon them.
Okay, so here's a statement.
You can't call it a Christmas cookie unless they have okay, red and green sprinkles on
Wait,
top.
don't you have a thing of like 10 different colored sprinkles back there?
I do, and I have some cookies here with red and green sprinkles, and yeah, we bought some props and things, so yeah, I do have red and green cookies because I was going to do sugar cookies and decorate them, and ugh. Sprinkle some sugar on them. Oh, you have it. Okay. Good. Yeah, you've told me that before, Kevin. The orange balls are better when they're slightly underbaked. So yes, bring the recipe over next time you come. Because yeah, doesn't Emily make them a little underbaked for you? Your wife, you know? Not your niece. Okay, Jerry says you speak about your collection of pots and pans. Well, I have drawers and drawers of cookie cutters. Oh, that's fun. I used to have a collection of cookie cutters that I bought, I don't know, some cooking shop somewhere with the fantasy that, oh, I'm going to do cookie cutter cookies this year. And guess what? They moved from the old house where they were stored in the basement on the shelves. They moved to this house where they are stored in the storage room on the shelves here in the basement. And then last year after Christmas, I did the great purge of 2022, and I thought, I'm never going to use these darn cookies. And out they went. Because I needed room for another set of dishes, so they had to be sacrificed. Gloria says, this is the time of year I appreciate having double ovens. I have done as many as 8 baking sheets. Yes, and that's one thing where I am very blessed too, because I have upstairs double ovens, and I don't know how I could live ever in a house without double ovens ever again. Do you have more, or should I go to
Keep going. The stuff's coming in. I'm typing.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, we're up to 15 people watching live.
Very
Yay.
good. Awesome. Awesome. And we don't have a small channel again this week. We need to start finding some small channels to feature.
Yeah, I'm just not getting responses from a lot of the channels.
Oh, Robin says, orange balls sound delicious. Can Kevin share the recipe? Well, when he shares it with me, Robin, I'll share it with you. So the orange balls recipe, Phil's ex-wife was a baker, is a baker, and did a lot of baking, and this was one that, I don't know if she invented them, dear, or did she find them in a magazine somewhere, or was it
I think she invented them.
Yeah. And I've always heard, oh, orange balls. And the first Christmas we were together, she sent some over, and okay, they're nice. If I remember, they're similar to Russian tea cakes, but they were a little overbaked, so they're dry and crumbly. And so, is that what they were like, dear?
It's been a while, but they're round, orange, and then they're done with a white sugar glaze and usually sprinkles.
Right. Okay, yeah. So I think we could play with that. Absolutely. Well, yes, but not without the recipe, dude.
Or if you come over for the live stream in 2 weeks, we could make them live.
We could.
Because the topic is going to be, you have to wait till the end for we tell you what the topic is.
Correct. But, okay, Kevin, I'll tell you what, there's a steak dinner in your future if you bring the recipe to me.
Okay, you know what that means. That means we'll be over tonight.
What a shame I have 4 steaks in the fridge.
Well, I could have 2 of them.
No, Ozempic said you can't. Okay, so I'd also like to hear, what else do you guys out there in the interweb land, what other treats and things do you have besides Christmas cookies? Because, Lisa, the kids like twisting together red and green dough to make their own candy cane cookies. Oh, that's fun. That would be fun. And nice and messy for their little hands, or if they're teenagers, their big hands. But yeah, that's fun. We never did stuff like that. When my mom, I still to this day don't know how my mom made the amount of Christmas cookies that she did every year, because she worked full time. She'd come home from work and she'd be home by 5 and she'd cook a full dinner, and then somehow there would be shortbreads everywhere and brownies and pudding cookies of various flavors. Actually, I should tell them my favorite Christmas cookie memory. That reminds me. So my senior year in high school was, I graduated in 86, so the Christmas of 85. Just before the holidays, my mother lost her job. Now, she was a principal in the company, and she knew it was coming, but they let her go, and she was probably 55 at that point, so the same age as I am now. And her compensation was that she was able to collect her salary for a full year. But she had to agree not to take another job and all this other nonsense. So she said, oh, woohoo, a full year off with I just have to drive and pick up my paycheck every week, yeah, I'm in. So that Christmas, most people, they lost their jobs right before Thanksgiving. You'd be panicked. It would be a tragedy, but she was very, very lucky. So that Christmas, because she was home constantly, she couldn't stop buying presents. She couldn't stop baking. We had so many cookies and candies and brownies. She got into making her own candies, and there was just food everywhere constantly. Christmas morning, we came downstairs, and it's like you couldn't move anywhere in the house because there were just everything. I think she even went overboard. My dad didn't even know half the stuff that she did, but she was sitting at home bored, and like, oh, I'm gonna go out Christmas shopping. I'm gonna bake some cookies. So, but prior to that, and even after that, when she went back to work, I always wondered, how do you do it? Because now I work at home. We're going to make Oreo gingerbread houses. Oh, I saw those. I saw a kit like that, and I'll bet you're probably going to make it from scratch with Oreos, but those are fun. But yeah, I don't bake much too, because even though I work at home, when I come downstairs at the end of my workday, I'm tired. I don't want to stand up all night.
When you come downstairs at the end of the day, you're going all the way downstairs for a cocktail.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Yes, and max time.
Or wine.
Max the cat time. Yes. Yeah, but so yeah, that was my favorite Christmas memory, Christmas of my senior year in high school, because my mom has an old-fashioned cookie press that she only uses at Christmas. Yeah, my sister has my mother's now, unfortunately, but yours is probably like my mom's. It was aluminum, and you had to crank it. It was like from the 40s or 50s. Mine does the same thing. It's just trigger. I haven't made those in a while, so I guess I'm making snickerdoodles and cookie press cookies this year.
So wait a minute.
Oh yeah, you need to try one of
All these cookies and oatmeal raisin are my favorite, yet I didn't get one.
Okay, dear.
I will come out from behind the control panel just so
There
I can,
you go.
Well,
Here's your take
I'll
two.
Take two. Well, wait a minute. I'm here,
Oh,
and I have teeth, so
wow, just push me off the camera.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, here. It's the Phil Quartermer Show.
Okay, just remember, I control the buttons.
Yes, dear. And I control what you eat. So I will
We
say,
can make it all about me for a little while.
wow, I say that all the time, and you're no. I will say oatmeal raisins are my favorites because I tell myself oatmeal is healthy and they're full of fiber. It's good for you and your cholesterol. The fact that it has a stick and a half of butter in it and a couple of eggs and got fiber. It's good for you.
Could be baked for about a minute more.
Nope, they're supposed to be soft and chewy, dear. Because you can't see under here, but we were experimenting with this oven, and the recipe says 8 to 10 minutes. So 8 minutes, I went, not so much. 9 minutes, maybe, and I let one batch go to 10. And it was like, ooh, that's
We'll
that's
pull
too
one
dark.
out.
Yeah, dear, I hid them on the bottom, like all the way. So this one, the darker one, is 10 minutes. This is 9 minutes. So, or 8.5 minutes or so. Anyway. Interesting that the guy, yeah, I know. Tell me. That's like when he's like, oh, I hate chocolate, and he's eating the Hershey Kisses by the fistful. Yeah. And remember, Kevin, you're just like him. Suzanne says, I just got to press some eBay. I like the screw caress better than the newer type. Yeah, I do too, actually, Suzanne. I do too, and probably because that's what I learned on. But if I could find the old-fashioned kind with a twist, I might get it. So maybe I'll check out eBay. But I'll make do with this one. I don't remember where I got it from, if someone gave it to me. Maybe I bought it. I don't know. Anyway, there's something a little polarizing, too, with Christmas treats. And it's one of the props that Philip brought out. And I'm going to show it to you. You may get upset. How about fruitcake? Not a Christmas cookie. And I don't know why Phil bought it except to try and upset people. But actually, I like fruitcake.
Actually, if you squeeze that one, it's really soft. It's
yeah,
not
this
firm at
doesn't
all.
look like the kind that's like sickeningly sweet, but it also
No.
doesn't look like it has any booze in it, which I like. However, we did a recipe, and maybe we need to reshoot that. The fruit and nut cake, which is made out of mostly Brazil nuts. Ken Ward's mom's recipe, and she's still around. I mean, she's like 104 now. She's in her 80s, but I'll bet if we redid it, she'd love to see that. It's a brilliant recipe.
Talking, I'll go find it. Hold on.
Brilliant recipe made mostly with Brazil nuts and maraschino cherries and just enough flour and things just to hold together. And it's not sickeningly sweet like fruit cake.
Mother of pearl fruit
That's
and
it.
nut cake.
That's it. Yep. And it's a fascinating recipe. And
Give me a minute. I'll put a link to it.
okay. Well, to see how many.
It's definitely in her older format, way older format.
How many views did it get originally?
I'm
Just thinking,
looking.
is it worth redoing?
373.
Yeah, but how many years ago was that? You know, if we did it in 2019 or even 2020, if it's only gotten 300 views in 3 years, I think we could maybe redo it.
Hold on, let's see. That was done December 3rd, 2019, which would have been 2 weeks before Scottish shortbread, because that was December 21st, 2019.
Okay. So maybe we need to redo it. But anyway, it's this fascinating recipe. It's one of those things that if you don't like fruitcake, you might want to try that. This one looks interesting, dear. We may try it later. It may end up in the bin. I don't know. I am one of those weirdos. I actually like fruitcake, especially the ones that the friars have made in the woods, soaked it in rum or whiskey or whatever, and it sits in the tin. We'll see what this is like. Chill cake for easier slicing. Okay, that doesn't make me... All right. Let's open it and find out. Okay. Yeah. Not so much. It smells like a bad tasty cake. Okay, anyway. So... we're running out of things to talk about now. How many more questions do we have? Because we've jumped around on my
We'll look up.
notes here. All right, Stuart says, I love going to the Italian bakery and getting a selection of Italian cookies. Oh, yeah. We're lucky that way. We live near Philly, so we can go into South Philly to the Italian market and do that. Or most of the time, we'll send our friend Mark and Nancy, because they go there quite often. But yeah, I mean, and again, some of those Italian cookies are wonderful. Yes, Kevin. Well, I won't make you eat any then. Your daughter might like it, just to spite you, because she's a mini you, and, you know. But yeah, because we don't have any really Italian bakeries around here that I know of.
We have an entire city full of
Well,
them,
that's what I
8
just said,
miles away.
other than in the South Philly, in the Italian market. But not on this side of the bridge, I meant, dear.
Well, that's because over here, bakeries don't last long. They seem to be in here for a year and a half, and then disappear.
No, well, the one in Westville is still there. I don't know how good it is, but it's still going. And it's been there since, like, the 50s. Maybe we'll have to check them out. Colleen, are rum balls considered cookies? I've been asking that all day. I don't know. My recipe is a no-bake recipe, and it's made from nil wafers, so technically it's made from a cookie. I don't know, but you could maybe call that.
Hold on, I will.
But they're delicious.
I'll find
either
the episode.
way.
While you keep talking, I will find the episode.
Yeah. So, one of the other things my mom always made, I mentioned earlier, she would always only ever make her brownie recipe at Christmas time. And I never understood why, because it's such an easy recipe, even though it's all from scratch. But she would just refuse to make it any other time of year. Just like shortbread. The shortbread mold only ever came out at Christmas, which is something that I carry on. And now so does Kevin, our son. But yeah, so brownies to me are a Christmas thing because that's what I grew up on. Same thing with candies. Like my mom got into this, that one year I mentioned in the 80s, she got into making candy from scratch. And so there are these like minty candies all the time. And she had all these little plastic molds and it was a whole big process.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah. But one thing she used to do, and I think a lot of people still do it, she when she would send cookies out and shortbread out into the world, she would go to the craft store and buy a bunch of those metal tins or plastic things. One year, sometime in the 80s when I was in high school, one of my older brother's friends, Scotty, he was hanging around the house all the time. I don't know why, they were both out of high school, but they're just constantly hanging out together. And Scotty got to the point where he would just walk in and we didn't care. It was like family at that point. And so one Christmas, my mom gave him a plastic container of pudding cookies and shortbread. And she said, now, don't throw this out after Christmas. Eat these cookies, and then next year, bring it back and I'll fill it for you again. Bring it back at Thanksgiving. So for the next year and the next several years, like the next 10 years after that, this darn container would come back Thanksgiving Day. Here, Mrs. Lee. And, it got to the point where she had to go buy a new one because it was just old and faded and cracked. But without fail, he would show up. Suzanne, I like the fruitcake recipe from James Beard's American Cookery. The problem is that it makes about 10 pounds of cake. Yeah, some of those. I have a James Beard cookbook from the 40s. I'm going to have to look it up and see if there's a fruitcake recipe in there. But yeah, a lot of those recipes, they do those older ones because they think you're going to make 10 pounds and give it away. Or they would make big batches for big celebrations. I have to ask, how are your cats with Christmas trees? I am at my wit's end with my Siamese. Oh.
Speaking of that.
I grew up with Siamese cats, so I know what they're like. So, first thing, well, I should sadly have to announce we are down a kitty. We lost a kitty a couple weeks ago. He was very old, and he got sick and was having problems. So we had to help him cross the Rainbow Bridge, as it were. So we are down to just 4. Normally, they're okay with the tree, but today we got up. There was some sort of scuffle in the middle of the night. We heard yowling and growling. And we came downstairs, and one of the tree branches was bent down. And it's an artificial tree, and it can't be repaired. Its wires are broken, things were bent and snapped. And so we think someone was trying to get up in the tree away from whomever was pestering him, and the branch snapped. But we need a new tree anyway. So mostly they're okay. They don't play with the ornaments or anything. I think this was just a case of, get on my nerves, I'm getting away from you. My father-in-law made these every year for us. Belgian Lucan cookies. Great memories in cookie. That sounds familiar. I think I saw that listed somewhere when I was doing research for this live stream. I should write that down. Because I love things like that. So let's see. Belgian Lucan cookies. Okay.
They look like pizzelles.
Oh. There is I think it was for Diwali, there was a cookie that they make that was very, very similar to a cookie to Rugula, for which people make, I guess, for Hanukkah. But they were very similar recipes, and it was kind of fascinating.
Yeah, from what I'm looking at, it looks very similar to a pizzelle.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all right. Oh, yeah, I see down there in the
Hold
screen.
on. I'll put that on
My
screen for
secondary
you.
screen.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well. Yeah, that looks like a pizzelle. So maybe the flavor's a little different.
Ah, okay. Hold on. Here's...
What?
So, that's what makes them...
Aha, they have whiskey in them, but you can modify.
Oh, Kevin will be over in 5 minutes for
I'm
that.
into having whiskey in them, yeah. So yeah, and we are going to need help eating all these cookies, Kevin, I'm just saying. And you do have a 6-year-old daughter. So Bob says, what adventure did you guys do this weekend? Well, yesterday we went out to do some wine tasting with our friends Rob and Robin. And we spent the day touring 3 different wineries. We had a very nice lunch at Sharrett in Hamilton, and we went to Heritage Tasting Room in Haddonfield, and there was a third one.
Skelton.
What's it called?
Skelton.
Skelton?
Sheldon.
The one that Michelle and Craig, you bought us the gift card for. So we had 3 lovely winery experiences, and we bought home a lot of wine because we didn't have any exactly.
Well, there was open spaces in the wine refrigerator. The law says you have to fill them.
They're full, and then we have more. It's over full, and we have another shipment coming. But yeah, so yesterday,
They're not full yet.
yesterday we went to winering with our friends Rob and Robin. Robin's husband doesn't drink, so he was a good sport all day, putting up with us, sipping wine and chatting. And then we came home and had a very nice lamb dinner, and it was a fun day. Did we need to spend that money right before Christmas? No, but oh well.
But it's the whole, we celebrate every
We
weekend.
do celebrate everything. Everything, as much as we can.
Robin says skeleton.
No, scald. You know what? Hold on. Oh, that's some Sharrett. Oh well. They emailed us the receipt, and I don't have my phone on me to look. It doesn't matter. So that's what we did. Anyway, it's getting...
Oh, there it is.
What?
Kevin's got it. Stokelin.
Stokelin. Yes, you're correct, Kevin. Stokelin, that's it. Skeleton.
Well, pushing buttons makes the brain go bad.
Yeah, okay.
But I still got a cookie.
Yes, dear. And I still have some martini left, so there.
Well, that's an amateur. Mine's been empty for a long time.
I've been a little busy.
All right.
Doing a TV show thing?
Let me stop chewing here for a second.
Okay, so we're getting towards that time. What's coming up next for LCTV? We have a cocktail coming out, the Americano. Old cocktail. That deserves a comeback. We're also going to be doing chicken marsala. Easy recipe. We've done veal marsala. Chicken marsala is a little different, but very similar. Why not do two? I'm going to be making for you, we're going to do an episode on rumaki. We just did Devils on Horseback, and it is taking off all on its own. It's doing really well. And this time of year, when everyone is entertaining, I think people want new, fun hors d'oeuvres. Rumaki, like Devils on Horseback, is very old, classic retro, but delicious. You may be a little scared because it uses chicken livers, but don't be scared. They're delicious, easy to make. And again, it's something that's wrapped in bacon, so how bad can it be, right? We have Rhode Island clam chowder coming up, which is not like Manhattan or New England clam chowder, but it's delicious, and it's great for this time of year as it's getting colder. You want something warm. Rhode Island clam chowder is a little lighter than the other two. So those are some episodes that we have coming up. Now, we also have a live stream in 2 weeks on the 17th. And it is sharing your favorite holiday memories. So I want to hear from you. We want to hear from you over the next 2 weeks. What are some of your favorite holiday memories? Could be wacky, zany, heartwarming, silly, sad, whatever. And it doesn't have to be Christmas. Christmas is great. It could be a New Year's memory. It could be a Thanksgiving memory. It could be if you celebrate Hanukkah or Diwali or any of the other holidays. What's your favorite memory? What's the thing that you always talk about? I have a couple. I shared one with you today with all the crazy cooking and present buying my mother did, but I've got a few others that are kind of silly and fun. So that's what's coming up for an LCTV next.
So hopefully, just like we got 17 cookies, we can get 20 or 30 stories of your favorite memories that we can all share.
Yeah, Yep. Maybe.
So I'll post the next live stream poster probably Monday or Tuesday. And in the comments on Facebook, I'll ask for your stories.
And we'll have the Americano coming out sometime this week, probably Wednesday or Thursday. You know, we always say, like, oh, we're going to film after live stream. We just have to unplug a couple wires, we can film, and then live stream ends, and we are both exhausted. It's funny, just standing here talking to you all, it's kind of tiring. I don't know how teachers do it. all my teacher friends, like Elaine, if you're watching, God bless you, because I don't know how you did it 8 hours a day. Or any of the other teachers that I know, like our daughter-in-law, Emily. Ugh. So I think we are a little over time. We're just at time now.
Right at time.
Oh, awesome. So shall we wrap this up, dear?
We can.
Okay. Not that I couldn't stand here talking to all of you, but you have lives too.
So I guess after this, we're putting some cookie plates together, and I'm taking some to work tomorrow. Huh?
Yeah, yeah. Yep, absolutely, because we can't be eating all this stuff. And I don't think even Mackenzie could eat all these cookies. It'd be fun to watch her try. But, so anyway, we're going to wrap this up now. We're going to hang out and chat for a few more minutes like we always do. But thank you so much for joining us today and continuing to support our channel and watch us. And wishing you all happy holidays, and we will see you soon. So cheers!